good, folk? It's RJ Young, host of the #1 college football show. And today I'm going to give you my week 2 USFL Power Rankings. And frankly, we just can go ahead and get rid of #1. That's the Birmingham Stallions, right? They are 2-0, 13-1 since the reformation of the league last year. Skip Holtz's team is firing on all cylinders. Turns out they got a quarterback now. Alex Magoo, 21 of 28 for 304 passing yards, 334, I think, total in the game. A 42-2 drubbing of the Memphis Showboats. Feels like it's theirs to lose again, but at #2 on my rankings list, their opponent for this Saturday, 11:30 a.m. on USA, New Orleans Breakers. McLeod Bethel-Thompson leads a team that is finding its way, and frankly finding its way because they are not giving the football away. Along with 251 yards, I'm going to go ahead and circle the 0 next to interceptions for McLeod Bethel-Thompson as we go into this really important game that I think is going to determine who is coming out of the USFL South Division. Again, those are the defending champs that they'll play, but the Breakers were good enough to make the playoffs last year. Very excited about that game. Then, #3 on the list for me, the Michigan Panthers. Now, I understand there's some folks that might feel some kind of way about Panthers being at 3 versus 2, but frankly, man, I've seen the New Orleans Breakers pull it out late in consecutive weeks, and I think that that is a very big deal. It's no shade to Michigan, who has achieved winning games already. They won 2 games all last year. They won 2 games in the first 2 weeks of the season under Mike Nolan. Josh Love had an outstanding game in week 1. This week, it was Reggie Corbin who led them to the promised land against a very good Philadelphia Stars team. Very excited to see what the Panthers look like going into week 3. #4 on the list, the New Jersey Generals. Now, they are here mostly because you can't catch an L in the first week and vault into the top 3 in the second week unless you do something magical. And frankly, they didn't do something magical, and they didn't do something magical against what has been one of the worst teams in the league since the reformation in 2022. But it was a decidedly Mike Riley style victory, 20-3 over the Pittsburgh Maulers, behind the rushing of Darius Victor, who is tied for the lead with Reggie Corbin for most rushing yards in the season already. That is the reigning offensive player of the year in the USFL as well. But the defense really showed out in their win against Pittsburgh. Chris Orr, friend of the show, former Wisconsin Badger, had 10 tackles in that game and a sack. Again, you scored 17 consecutive points in the second half, but that really doesn't underscore how good the defense was. It's nice to see Hercules Mataafa getting in on having a good time there, and it feels like they got a quarterback, right? Now, Dakota Prukop has not really shown himself to be the passer that, say, Josh Love is, or even Kenji Bahar, who we'll talk about in a little bit, or McLeod Bethel-Thompson, or even Alex Magoo. But to have a guy that you can understand running the offense, right? Or he can understand running the offense and managing the team on the field. It's a very big deal for Mike Riley and the Generals, who are looking to get back to the playoffs and perhaps make it to the championship game this time. #5 on the list, the Philadelphia Stars. Despite going 28 of 45 for 280 yards, Case Cook wasn't doing enough. He threw 2 picks to the Panthers in their loss. Also fumbled on the last play of the game when Breland Speaks hit him in the backfield on a sack. Really kind of underscored how the game went for the Stars, where they were leaning very much on his ability to throw the ball and hoping to get some takeaways from a defense that was not historically, but statistically the worst in the league last year. But Channing Stribling is still pretty doggone good back there. I believe he's got 8 interceptions in the last 9 games. And Amani Dennis had 2 interceptions in that game against the Panthers. I think the Stars are going to be just fine. They happen to come up against a Michigan Panthers team that is rolling. #6 on the list, the Houston Gamblers, who were getting so close again to catching their first win of the season. Kenji Bahar took a huge step forward in this week. 266 pass yards, 3 TDs, but 3 interceptions. Again, it's about turnovers. If you can take care of the football in the USFL, you have an opportunity to win a bunch of games in the USFL. That is how important it is for the quarterback to not throw the ball to the other team, and for the running backs and the ball catchers to not put the ball on the floor. It is that big a deal. Justin Hall also enjoyed a breakout game, 8 catches, 110 yards, and a TD in their losing performance. But again, I think the Gamblers have an opportunity to get off the schneid late this Saturday. #7, the Memphis Showboats, Todd Haley's team, coming off giving up 42 to the Birmingham Stallions. There's no way getting around that. You can't give up a 40-point margin in this league and expect people to take you and believe that you're great, right? Now, it also doesn't help them that we're talking about a 10-game schedule, and you're already down 0-2 in what I think is the stronger of the two divisions, the South, right? So you got to get on your horse in a hurry if you expect to contend for a playoff spot in your first year, Memphis. And then number 8, the Pittsburgh Maulers, just 166 yards of total offense against the Generals and just 3 points. I think Ray Horton hit it right on the head when he told our Eric Williams, I didn't go to MIT, but I know if you extrapolate 3 points a game over 10 games, that's 30 points for a season, and that's not going to get it done. He also put the onus back on himself and his coaching staff to do better on behalf of their players. He continues to say his players are playing their tails off, and I believe him, but I do want to point out there's one instance in the game when he was playing against New Jersey for which he had a wide receiver come up to him and say, Coach, we need a momentum play as they were going to punt on 4th down. Ray Horton points to the field, says, we dropped the ball right there. And he said, but I said we needed a momentum play. Yeah, we had one. You dropped the ball right there. We can't drop the ball right there. And I like that. I really do. It is a coach who knows what he is about and already sees what you want from him. He's saying, hey, you take care of business, we'll win more football games than we lose. That is our Week 2 USFL Power Rankings. Let me know what you think on the socials below, and we'll see you next week for our Week 3 USFL Power Rankings. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.